So we started class laying on the back for a few minutes just to ground and center, parasympathetic response. Now we're bringing our knees into our chest, drawing some circles, maybe first with the knees together and then eventually with the knees individually moving, so knees toward the chest, forward and wide. Another one of my favorite kind of warm-up little movements here is the knees windshield wiping. The feet go a little bit wide on your mat, arms can go wide, and then it's this nice soothing movement side to side. All right, yogis. So I'm going to do this little alternating full body stretch with one knee into the chest. So my legs are going to go forward, and I'm going to give you the exercise. You're going to repeat a few times side to side. Big inhale, you're going to lengthen your arms to the back. Now I'm taking an active full body stretch. I really reach my legs forward, reach my arms back, stretch it to the armpits, the side bodies, okay, big inhale. And then you're going to exhale your right knee into your chest, squeezing tight. Try to bring the right knee a little wide. You can even bend your forehead to your knee if it feels good, okay? Head is going to go down, right leg's going to go slowly forward, full body stretch. Take your time, left knee comes in the chest, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to kind of pause, but then we're going to move back to the second side with a little full body stretch in between. Ideally about 3 to 6 per side. Left leg forward, nice full body stretch. Right knee's going to come in on the exhale, giving a quick extra breath. Inhale, full body. Exhale, left knee in. So you're stretching your lower back, your hip, your knee here. It's also very good maybe for the lymph and the digestive tract. Okay, one more time with me, and then I'll let you have another minute on your own. That's how we get that benefit, yogis, that repetitive action here, okay? Inhale, full body stretch, exhale, and just kind of please continue on your own. Ideally, this is kind of very personal and meditative, okay? Last 2 or 3. Just want you to do a little extra of this. We haven't done a lot of this in a while, and it's really fundamental and excellent. All right, yogis, so our next exercise is like a counter pose. We're going to eventually come back to a full body stretch, but then we'll bring both knees into the chest, give it a squeeze. So this is also very classic yoga, these 2 things in a row here, the bridge. We're going to place our feet down, right behind our sit bones. If you want a little extra, let's place that block between the kind of upper thigh where the knee is, or really the lower thigh. We're going to start with our arms down. And I'm not going to have you move your arms today because we just did that, but you can add that if you'd like. Let's start with the pelvic tilt, pressing the lower back arch flat. You're going to feel that core engaged. Now, with not really using the feet, I do lift my pelvis, so you can see my hips lift. And then I'm going to now press through my feet, lifting my hips to the sky. Okay? I'm going to pause up here, just like we were doing. In the knee into the chest, we lift and hold. And then we're going to lower down slowly after a kind of brief pause. Vertebrae by vertebrae, I can let my hips come down, my lower back arch does arch again. And then I press it down to start, engaging the core. Then I tilt the pelvis, drive through my feet, lift my hips, try to lengthen the waist, press the big toe down. Don't let the knees buckle in or out. Okay, equal weight into the feet, and then lower down slowly, please. At your pace, we're gonna go up and down, trying to get to maybe, I don't know, 9, 12. You know, you might have to shake it out in between. You might have to readjust your footing. Let's get our bridge working. Focus, close your eyes. Try to feel your body and try to find a way to work, but not overstrain. So a couple very classic yoga exercises here. Remember to try to link your breath with your body. I kind of like to have this idea, inhaling up, taking an extra breath up in the bridge, exhale and inhale, and then kind of exhaling down. That's how I do it. I also will reverse the breath. Some days I'll actually exhale up and inhale down. So it's good to change that up sometimes. It makes you kind of think a little bit more, and it's different for the body. So we're only going to do this one round here of the moving bridges. I'm going to give you a nice twist after this, and then we will hold a bridge, and we will do one core exercise for you guys, thinking a little bit more like abs. Okay, nice job there. That's me on the back. Take a little windshield wipe, anything that you need to do to kind of neutralize. And we are going to take our first twist. Maybe be easy. If you have a bolster, you can put it between the thighs or even on the right side of your body. We'll bring the knees into the chest. We'll scooch our hips to the left, and we'll drop our knees to the right. Right arm, you can spread your arms. You can bring your right hand on your outer left thigh. Notice what I do here. I do lengthen my core, reach my left knee over top my right, reach my left arm out, and then I really go for the breath here. Big inhale into your abdomen, your ribs, your chest. Big exhale. Two to three more breaths, please. We're going to come back to center slowly. Drop our knee, neutralize in the middle. You always need a little extra of that. And then we're going to do our second side of our twist. So nice and simple today, both knees together toward the chest, scoot your hips right, let your knees fall left. Again, some days softer, just kind of widening your arms. And other days, left hand on the outer right thigh, reaching your right arm out, opposite side of the knees. And you want to, practice breath work. And as the yogis say, just kind of sitting in the pose, noticing what it's doing to your body, your mind, your emotions, your breath. All right, yogis, so we're going to come back to center. No rush getting there. And we will do a second round of bridge. Sometimes doing bridge early can be a little achy and difficult. That's totally normal, all right? But I want you to get one little bit more like an extended bridge hold. Now that we twisted, we did a lot of movements to get you kind of warmed up in the beginning. Now, arms down by side, let's lift our hips. You can grab the outer edge of your mat, or even if you're up for it, walk your hands underneath the hips. Roll the shoulders under, stretching the chest a little bit more, and then lifting the hips a little bit higher. Just try to bring your pubic bone more forward and up. You could even experiment with lifting your heels here, or even lifting the mound of the foot. And it should get a little strenuous in a gentle way. So this is the end of our strenuous exercises here on the back today. Just kind of classic. weeks previous, we were doing some of those rotational things and lateral here, but we're gonna keep it forward and back. We're eventually gonna lower down, take a little breather. I wanna do our ab exercise, the dead bug. I'm gonna bring my knees over my hips, my arms to the sky, hands under the shoulders. The main activity is to press your lower back down. So notice it looks like I'm in table just laying on my back. I press my lower back down, okay? As I inhale, my right leg goes forward, my left arm goes back. Now that's gonna wanna arch my back more, but my active work is to press my lower back down. Exhale, same thing, I move, but then I pause. Notice my left leg, right arm go now, opposite. My right leg and left arm stay neutral. It's not this, okay? It's inhale, maybe an extra breath. Exhale, inhale, maybe an extra breath. Lower back is pressing down to engage your core, and then neutral. And I'd like you to continue. Close your eyes. I want you to try to stop looking at the screen. I stopped demonstrating on purpose so I don't distract you. Go ahead. And if there's another little ab exercise you want to do, that's fine. I like this one though because it's asymmetrical, transverse. It crosses the body. It's not just forward and back or like up and down. It's also across shoulder to hip. So it's really nice. And to close up practice down on the back here, I want you to take a little neutralizer and I will do one more kind of relaxing stretch, the figure four. Really good after the bridges. We stretch the hip now, the piriformis. Right ankle atop the left knee. If you want very soft, you can stay here. Left foot on the floor, more meditating, restorative relaxation. If you want to go stronger, reach through, grab the left hamstring. Flex your right foot, right knee goes away, pull the left knee toward you. Let's breathe here. Big inhale, please. Slowly releasing, switching sides. A little neutralizing in the beginning. I like to do things like this, like shake my legs out a little bit, roll my ankles, bend and straighten my knee. Whenever you feel good about it, we're just going to put the left ankle atop the knee. Now, again, this is the restorative version. Some of us go a little further, grabbing the right hamstring. Try to close your eyes, take a few breaths. Big inhale, slowly releasing, taking a moment here, maybe closing up our reclining practice with a little knees in the chest, or if you're up for it, happy baby. Just kind of feeling it out. Moving side to side, forward and back. Just feeling out your body here a little bit more freedom, right? Take your time, yogis. We're eventually going to start grabbing the hamstrings. If you're up for it, a little rocking forward and back, massaging out the back muscles. After a few of those, we're gonna make our way up to tabletop. Seated position, swing your legs around. Now I'm in that table you're more familiar with. We're gonna start with cat-cows here. Let's move that spine a little bit more, okay? Even though we were moving it in bridge and knees into the chest, this is a lot more freedom. As I inhale, I arch my back. As I exhale, I round. I want you to get into this a little bit more, forward and back. Close your eyes, please. And then I want you to do circular, free movements. I'm gonna give you a little extra time, about 1 more minute. Try to close your eyes, breathe, and move. I'll be right back. I'll use the restroom really quick. All right, yogis, let's take our time here. I'm going to teach a short downward dog, toes tucked, hips up and back. I want to use this to stretch the calves. Shake my head a little yes and no, get into my side bodies a little bit. If it's too much, you could do something like this, just in tabletop, throwing your right leg back. It's a really nice, easier substitute. Trying to press that kind of right heel back. Stretching the back of the calf, the leg. And then you can do a second side. Okay, big inhale, please. We'll meet back down on the knees, and we are gonna try to sit on the ankles. So my big toes kind of touch, right on top of those heels, so the top of my feet are down. Now we'll go for our side stretch here, getting into the new plane of the body. Right hand down, legs, so big inhale, left arm up and over. Slowly, switching sides, right arm up and over. Main goal is to actually sit on the ankles though. We want to compress your ankles. I know this can be quite difficult for some of us. It used to be painful for me, now it's quite easy. Keep it up. The body's always adapting to the demand we put on it. All right, yogis. Take your moment to kind of shake your feet out a little bit. That can be a little tense on the feet. I'll give you the option. You can do a little gentle push-ups. Remember, it's important that we do build upper body strength in gentle yoga as well. So doing something like this is super good for you. Just try to hug your elbows in, shoulders back and down. And it's just a gentle push-up. You don't go all the way down, not even halfway. There's also gentle plank on the forearm and on the knees. Okay, just notice I'm not here. My hips are coming forward. I'm not here either. I'm too low with the hips. Right here. Looks like my upper body's in plank, but the knees are down. All right? I'll let you guys decide how you're going to work your upper body there, but eventually we'll meet on the chest. And we're going to come into a back bend here. I am going to teach a Sphinx. We did some good active bridges. I'm going to do a little bit more of a meditative hold. Think like yin. Get you into that posture. Let you breathe. Meditate in the form. Feet about hips width distance, toes pointed. We're going to crawl our forearms forward. Pulling the core forward and up. Elbows under shoulders. Try to drive your pubic bone down. Lift the heart. Let's breathe here, please. Try to bring the shoulders back and down. Try to lift the chest forward and up, but lengthen the neck. All right, big inhale. Another kind of more like yin hold. Again, neutralizing is always good. Even if you need to press back to child pose quickly, I totally get that. Depends on how you feel, all right? So when you're ready here, yogis, laying on your chest, this one can be a little confusing, but I think everyone's been in class with this one before. My right arm is out to the right. I am not reaching my arm forward past my ear. I'm reaching it out to the side. I push through my left hand, I roll to my right side. I'm rolling, my left foot is reaching behind me. I try to relax here, yogis. Maybe adjust to get comfortable. If you need the demo, visual one more time, here, right arm out, push through your left hand. So it's like this on my chest, laying down. Just notice my arm's not here, it's not up here, it's right out to the side. Try to close your eyes and take a few more deep breaths, please. All right, let's come back to our chest. You're on your chest, your right hand slides in, your left hand slides out. Feel free to hold longer if you'd like. I want to keep it going so we can do our short series of standing yoga poses. Press through the right hand, left arm is out. I'm trying to feel a stretch. A lot of places to feel this. Forearm, elbow crease, even bicep, shoulder, maybe even in your chest. You can even feel it through the hip if you're reaching the top leg back. Close your eyes, yogis. Take a few breaths. Use it to meditate. Please take your time. We're going to come back to center, laying on the chest. We're going to press back to child pose. So first time here, it's a weight bearing, more compression for the hips and the knee. I like to suggest big toes touch, knees wide. So that's one variation. Another variation is more of your knees together. But that kind of, I always feel, pushes into my ribs a lot. So I like to widen the knees. Some options here. You can walk your hands forward. You can even come up on the fingertips for a little active energy there. One more option for me is thread the needle. My left arm can reach underneath my right armpit. I turn my left ear down. Kind of the opposite shoulder stretch we just did. With the arm reaching out, now reaches across under. It's kind of melting, letting gravity do the work here. Big inhale. If you're doing something one-sided, thread the other needle, right arm underneath left armpit. Try to relax, close your eyes. Please take your time. Child pose, tabletop. A quick wrist stretch here. We're going to turn our fingers outward in tabletop and then toward the knees. So I flip my fingers all the way out and then around. My fingers are now facing my knees, the crease of the elbows facing forward. I lean back a little bit. Maybe I lean forward a little bit. Back a little bit. So my hands are kind of like this on the floor. They're not here, they turned around. Last few breaths there, please. You know, be easy with this one. Yoga's a lot on the wrists, so I do want to throw this in here. You know, in case a couple of you do take the stronger classes as well. You know, we're in that push-up, the plank a lot, the chaturangas, the side planks, even things like wheel, a lot on that wrist. So let's stretch them out here. Let's turn our fingers back forward, maybe shake them out a little bit. We'll do one more here. It's the back of the wrist. My palm has to flip up, yogis. So left hand, palm flips up, fingers face the knee. Straighten the arm a little bit more, lean back a little bit. Work on rolling the crease of your elbow more forward. A few breaths here on the first side. So just to be clear, the first stretch we did was kind of stretching like this. See how it's stretching the front of the wrist? Now, the second one is actually stretching like this, the back of the wrist, okay? So make sure you're just aware there. Often in class, you know, in person, I see a lot of people still have their palm down. Your palms face up now, okay? Let's shake out that wrist, give it a little roll, and do your second side, the back of the right hand down, feeling a stretch through. This is that place where commonly people get that carpal tunnel, right? They're on the computer and they're like this a lot. And that's that pinching that happens here. Same thing in the plank, you're like this, right? So it's good to kind of go here. A lot of times in the stronger yoga classes, I don't take enough time for the wrist openers, but we normally regularly do them in this class. All right, just kind of, you know, this is the class where we can break down some more isolated and smaller, subtler body, you know, openings and strengtheners. All right, guys, when you're done there, please, let's release that hand, shake it out. Now I'm gonna have you touch your toes. If you gotta do it seated, just throw your legs forward, touch your toes. Or if you're comfortable, tuck your toes, maybe walk through down dog. You could have your blocks here or hands on your knees, take a little left, and then let's forward fold, kind of reaching for our toes, leading the weight toward the toes, soften the back of the neck. Sway side to side a little bit. A few more breaths. And eventually, yogis, we're going to bring our hands on our hips, bend our knees with a strong core. We're going to rise up, and we're going to meet in standing. So now, you know, most of the stuff in that tabletop area was stretchy. And now we're going to come back to strengthening just balance, but take a moment to kind of loosen up. Okay, if you want to draw a couple arm circles, just a little bit of free movement time. Little arm circles both directions is always good. Just to move that body a little bit more. You know, we did this stretch, we did this stretch, we did this stretch. So, you know, a lot of stretching there. Another nice movement is this twist, a little bit more for your core. Or for your hips, you could do something like this. So I gave you a shoulder, a core movement, and a hip movement. And shake the body out a little bit. One last thing could be a little neck roll here. Always start slow and small with your neck. We got a small group of all regular attendees, so I'm just giving you a little bit more freedom. Move your body here a little bit after kind of those, a lot of those kind of holding of postures we just did. Okay, we're going to go right into our balance. Take your time moving around a little bit with the neck there. Classic, the tree posture, so good for strengthening the full body. So much firing the muscles. Hands can go on hips. If you'd like a little extra shoulder strength now, we can reach our arms up and just hold those arms up and straight. Left foot's going to go on the inner right shin. If you feel good, you want to go a little higher. Just make sure you're not jamming the heel into the knee. A little bit above the knee, more on the inner thigh. So let's reach those arms up. Keep weight in one foot. Let's breathe here. Now, try not to look down. Try to look forward more, or even if you're getting good, kind of look up more, okay?
So the Dristi practice, where your eyes are and controlling the eyes, setting them on a spot, they call it the 1,000-yard stare. It's like a trance, looking at a space. Ideally, we're going to hold tree until you feel a soft to medium burn here. That's strength. To get stronger here, you kind of have to go to where it's difficult a little, and then remain in that difficult situation. Working on standing up taller, engaging your core, breathing, and relaxing actually certain areas too. So let's do our second side. Maybe shake it out a little if you need. Remember, just holding your arms up, it's fantastic for shoulder strength and flexibility. It also will release this muscle, the lat, which can really restrict the shoulder and make it feel almost locked. Second side, let's do it. Tree, arms up. If you're doing it, second round, holding arms up, right foot on inner left shin. Hold balance. This is part of our strengthening part of class, learning to activate in the body in a way where you can stabilize well. And if it gets too easy, you either have to look forward or even slightly up. If it's really all easy, we close the eyes, please. Couple more breaths. Now it's different for every person. So some of us might be pretty strong there, practicing your yoga regularly. You're going to be able to hold that longer than someone who's new and maybe has any back pain, or make sure you hold to a space where you notice it's a little challenging for you at least, and you almost want to leave, but you stay a few more moments. Okay, so it really starts when you, let's say, want to leave it. Let's slowly release that position. Take a moment here. That could be strong on the back. So if you want to do anything like this, or even like a little high knee. I love to do these high knees. We actually did it in the beginning on our back. Remember this? Same thing. This is a little bit more kind of active moving. Now, our second balance. We haven't done this one in a while, and it's really one of my fundamental balance practices. You're going to step your right foot directly in front of your left. You're on a tightrope here, on a line, okay? Now, you can bend your knees a little bit, or if you're feeling good, you can straighten them more. Lift the chest, hands can come to center or on hips. A little bit easier might be here. But yogis, our goal now is we're on 2 feet. I want you to try to close your eyes and stay centered. Find your midline, your center, and hold that balance, please. Eyes have to close, though. That's the deal. Nice, yeah. Now let's slowly switch sides. Take a little neutralizer. In this class in particular, gentle. We're being gentle on the body. We give it a lot of what I call true release. It's kind of like shaking it out. Second side, only these 2 standing balances. So 2 rounds of balance, 1 on the 1 foot and actually 2 on both feet. So here we go. Come on now, let's be brave and reach those arms wide. It's really important, yogis, that we balance with our eyes closed. It's a very different process for the brain. Really good for your neural youth, keeping the brain young, keeping those neural synapses, these connections of neurons. You got to really focus here. So eyes are closed. All right. It's totally normal to fall here. You just get back in, you try again. Just make sure you're breathing. Don't restrict the breath. Let the air at least go in and out slowly. If we hold our breath kind of unconsciously, it can create a lot of strain and stress that's just unnecessary. We want to learn how do we kind of create unnecessary stress and try to reduce that probably, right? Nice. So that's really focuses on the ankles stabilizing to the sides. You probably felt that a lot, where you're really kind of moving side to side. It's not so much forward and back as the side to side. I do want to do the calf raises. Again, this is something I'm trying to get you to do regularly. Just going to lift those heels and drop those heels. That's it. There you go. Couple more here. Lift all the way up. Try to get into those toes. Just be careful. This can strain the arch of your foot if you never do this. A lot of people, you know, they're in shoes for 40 years and they're not barefoot enough. And the arch of the foot, the feet in general can get very weak. So you want to start slow, like just lifting like an inch. And if you're getting better at it, you lift higher. With practice, you can actually challenge yourself to kind of hold. So you lift up and hold what we call like a plantar flexion, a calf raise. All right, and you're going to feel your toes gripping, your toes are trying to get stronger there. And that's really good. So to close up practice here today, we're going to do a seated stretch. So we did some back, we did some downward table on the chest, we did some upright. Now we're going to finish off class in seated position. So you're going to take a moment there, shake it out. If you're up for it, let's try a yogi squat. You can use blocks. I widen my feet a little, I turn them open. You know, it starts like this or even like this. With practice, you can bend the knees deeper. Just notice my heels are down. I'm not going to make you hold it long. Just a few more breaths. So we're going to do 3 to 4 poses in the seated position, and then we're going to close the meditation. I do have to take off a tiny bit early today. I have my regular next yoga class in person got moved to a new location, and I've never been to it. So I have to get there a little extra early. So we'll stop about 5-10 minutes early, just so I'm not rushing or stressed getting to my next yoga class. All right. So listen, guys, let's take it down to the butt. We're not going to hold any posture too long. This is a difficult stretch for some of us. It is the Virasana, single leg. We're going to lean to the left. We're going to bend our right knee. Notice the right heel is right up against that hip. Look at that pinky toe. It's down. I'm not like that. You see I'm on the inner edge of the foot here? No. I want to be in the top front edge of the foot. Lean my right sit bone down. We're just going to take a few breaths. We're going to try to lean back, feeling a stretch in my right thigh, ankle maybe. And as I go back further, you might get feeling it more in your hip. Okay? Last few breaths. The further you go back, too, you get a nice kind of chest opening here again. The arms go back more. But someone who's upright, you know, you still can tend to be here. All right, let's slowly sit up. You're going to release that leg. It can be a little bit, you know, tense. We just don't want the knee to hurt. So, you know, if you need to sit on a block, remember we can lay on our side. If you lay on your back and roll to your side, you can kind of reach back and grab the top of the foot. Similar. Just make sure that heel is, again, close to the hip and the top of the foot is down. And then we try to lean back, please. Close your eyes now. Let's take a few breaths. Big inhale. At your pace, please. I'm actually noticing how much tighter my right thigh was today. Some imbalance I got going. So, you know, normally I would maybe do that right side actually extra. You know, I got into the left side, I was like, oh, I don't really feel it as much. I probably would have went right back to my right side. So that's just an example about how I would personalize it for me today. 2 options. A little butterfly stretch is a nice option here, pulling on the feet. Just to be clear, if my heels are close to my hips, it's a little bit more restricted for me and a little bit more hips. Or if I bring my feet a lot more forward, it's a little bit less restricted and I get into my lower back more.
You could even do like a straddle if you feel like you want a really big stretch here. One more hamstring go, because we didn't do like that much hamstring. So if you wanted to go here, how about you pick one of those three, a butterfly variation or a straddle, and take a few more breaths, please. All right, yogis, let's sit up. I got two more things planned. We can just sit cross-legged. You can shake it out a little bit. I want to do just a quick neck stretch for the side of the neck. We did forward and back. We did rotational. We did circling. We were missing one little aspect of how our neck moves, which is a lateral, a side bend. So I'm just going to sit up tall. We will not hold too long if this position is strenuous. Right ear, right shoulder. You can even reach your left arm kind of down and away if you'd like. Just be easy here. Try not to round the spine. Work on sitting up. Remember, in yoga, we do have a practice of attempting to sit on the ground and sit up tall. Literally, sometimes you just have teachers say, okay, sit up tall, hold for like multiple minutes, and we do breath work and other meditative practices. Let's come back up to center. You can lift your traps up and down 2-3 times, and then set inside. Now to close up our seated practice, you shake it out here. You could take a very gentle twist, right hand behind, left hand outside the thigh, or if you wanted a bigger stretch, legs would go forward. The right heel would go outside the left knee. Either way, we are twisting right. Right hand can go behind again, left hand outside the thigh, just like it was. I sit up and I twist, gaze over the right shoulder. Big inhale. You can switch to crossing your legs if you are crossed, or here, left ankle outside right knee, right arm can swing around, lift that heart and twist. Some of us might take that arm hook, get it outside that thigh. Just try to lift that heart, yogis, and twist.
You know, if I had to pick one space to really breathe with a lot of intention and effort, it'd probably be in those twists, into that abdomen, the back, the ribs. Really have the abdomen and chest all expand, not only, you know, forward and back, but side and up and down. So all these dimensions of the lungs kind of spreading into spaces where they're normally not. The breath has a lot of muscular, you know, stimulation that poses don't. So using those combined is really powerful. All right, yogis, let's come back to center. If you want to reach for your toes quick, or if you'd like to lay on your back, we are going to set up for closing meditation. I want you to take a good, you know, maybe 4 or 5 minutes here. So I'll give you a good 30 seconds to take a last posture or movement if you feel like you need it. But let's make sure we unwind with a nice closing relaxation.